something for everybody who needs to learn about harmonies. Come my harmonies, come my harmony, my harmonies, my harmonies. Please stand right here for me, please. Stand right here for me, please, my harmony. They work so hard, hey! Many a call, many a call, many a call, many a call. Ha. So few are chosen, and the threads of life, children, they're all. They're all interwoven, and so you can't touch a flower, no, without troubling a star. Can you hear me now? Sometimes in this la life, you've got to stand up straight and just say who you are. Come on, and so on your own, so on your own, so on your own. No, you've got to seek out the sky, yeah. Seek out the sky, whoa. Seek out the sky. Well, then you've got to see for you, see for you, see for you, see for you. Oh. true. Me lover. It's so amusing to hear abusing and accusing. It's so confusing. I know they're messing up your mind. Oh, oh, oh. I know they're messing up your mind. Me lover, me lover, me lover, me lover, me lover, me lover. Oh, let's have a good, good time. No, no, me lover. Let's have a good, good time. No, me lover. Let's have a good, good time. Me darling, no, no. Let's have a good, good time. I said, me lover, your love too precious and too delicious to lose. Me lover, and you too vital and too special to abuse. Me lover, what good for ram goat is good for gander and goosey too. Me lover, you must remember, me baby lover, when you out yonder, protect me pleasure and don't go messing up my mind. No, 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 don't go messing up my mind. Me darling, no. Me lover, let's have a good, good time. No, 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 no. Me lover, me lover, me lover. Let's have a good, good time. No. Me lover, me lover, good, good time. Oh. Me darling, no. Let's have a good, good time. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Let's have a good, good time. Me lover, let's have a good, good time. No, me lover, let's have a good, good time. Me darling, no, no, no. Let's have a good, good time. No, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Let's have a good, good time.
Norman was my good partner. To me, he was like a brother. A jack of all trades, a very good sportsman. A real heavy dude, all the girls like Norman. Then he left and went away to a next country. And when he came back, it was a different story. He walking and shaking hips, wearing earrings and rouge on lips. What he did to himself, I don't know, but he really changed up to do. Wearing a tight, tight band and a handbag in his hand. I say no, this ain't true. And he wearing makeup too. I say, Norman, is that true? Tell me, Norman, is that true? I want to know, Norman, is that true? I'm out. went to school together. From small we was always partners. Breaking beach and pitching marbles in the yard. No Lord, what is this? Like my partner gone mad. When he passing, all the boys just looked at him. And if you see how Norman must be blushing, whatever he do it so plain, he believed that he's not a man again. And here he even gone so far to change his name to Norman. Wearing a tight, tight pants and a handbag in his hands. I say no, this ain't true. And he wearing makeup too. I ask him, Norman, is that you? Tell me, Norman, is that you? I want to know, Norman, is that you? This morning I walk up to him. I say, Norman, boy, what happening? He watch me cut eye, he stoops and he walk up. People was watching, so he start to show up. I say, Norman, boy, it's me, your good old partner. He says, sorry, my dear, but I can't remember. Mister, please don't waste your time. I suggest from now that you change your mind. Tackle some other woman. I am not running my husband. When you call, he's selling kiss. Oh my goodness, what is this? Looking more real than the girls, with his hair always in curls. I ask him, Norman, is that you? Tell me, Norman, is that you? I want to know, Norman, is that you? Norman, is that you? Norman? Norman, looking so? Yes. Yes, it's me.
With the flick of my wrist, there comes a new musical disc that will make you jump and twist. The network, disco, rap show. From payday to payday, you day. I say, you dilly, you dally up a discotheque, man, you're sweating to that same way. Bad girls and punky boys, masquerading, some parading, shaking up the disco body as they boogie on down to the ground. And they now give a damn for the culture. But tell us, say you now give a damn for your culture. How will you do? like a robot, robot. I see you like a robot, robot. And you nah give a damn for your culture. You nah give a damn for your culture. I tell you say you nah give a damn for your culture. You nah give a damn for your culture. How will you do? Put on the dancing shoes. And go on to the disco. Go on to the disco. Put on the dancing shoes. Put it on, put it on, put it on. And I tell you. Go on to the disco. Go on to the disco. Put on the dancing shoes. Put it on, put it on, put it on. And I tell you. Go on to the disco. Go on to the disco. Put on the dancing shoes. I see you. Go on to the disco. Go on to the disco. Kings and queens, when you're leaving this mean machine, no slamming of doors. All right. Chocolate City people, while you relax and taking the heavy sounds of network rhythm band, no smoking of cigarettes. All right. You wanna funk? You wanna funk? You wanna F-F-U-F-U-N-K today? Put on your dancing shoes. And you go on to the disco. Go on to the disco. Funk you. You put on your dancing shoes. And you go on to the disco. Go on to the disco.
fighting demons, some sins are small. Nothing you do can stop me. So go with your heavy vibe. Move them things from around me. More than corners to taught me well how to pray and to break the spell. I well guarded my spirit grounded. Ground and lights all over the head. Make way, make way, make way, make way. I got work to do. Plenty work to do. Make way, make way, make way, make way. I got work to do. inside there. And if you're looking for me, you go find me. Right there, right there. I repeat the bim 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 right there. It's a rhythm deep down inside there. Take me home, take me home, take me home. Wake me up before I fall asleep. Take me to a place where lovers meet. Marry me to the heart of water spray. So if I ever leave, I'm bound to come again. All around is fire and flames. Oh, this world is so crazy, yes. Protect we island, Father, we pray. Until the very end of we days. Take me home. Take me home. Take me to a place where my heart don't feel no pain. Take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Well, everybody's shouting out right there. It's a rhythm deep down inside there. And if you're looking for me, you go find me. Right there, right there. I repeat the bim 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 right there. It's a rhythm deep down inside there. Take me home, take me home, take me home. Whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Whoa, whoa, yeah.
The fat was crowded and she was tight. While I was grounded, she high in flight. I told young Steve Van blazing a jam. She turned, she bam bam, rhythm it down. Don't do that to me, don't do that, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
So many youths in service now, that's an honor. Oh, you are my friend, my sister, and my brother. But what we gonna do? So we gonna try to win the East, yeah. Pick up class with his family. Keep up in the West, yeah. Calling out everybody. See when we come together. Goodness, fight and we're stronger. Stand up here as we come to do this work. Every day we keep on rising up, on the journey we keep on rising up. When water run more than flour, not even water could stop this fire. What for stand that care us who come to do this work? Rising up, how we fix up the soul. Now when we link up.
So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Lekato, good evening. Thank you for holding the community conversation. Please stand as we have the national anthem. Then I will call Brother Carl McEwen to come close one time to say the prayer first. Be on standby.
Yes, please remain standing as I put a Carl McHugh into the invocation for us.
Almighty God, who art in heaven, holy is thy name. We are indeed thankful for this privilege whereby we can call upon your name unmolested. We thank thee that you are Lord of our lives. And as we gather here tonight to continue this conversation, we invite your presence among us to lead, to guide, and to direct. We ask you, dear Lord, for our candidate, Mr. Guy, and our political leader, Mr. Ansel Dennis, as they take the front. Father, we ask you to give them that focus of attention, and even the wider audience, Lord, even as questions are being asked, so they can answer and answer assertively. Father, may you continue to guide us into all truth, and as we work diligently to put Tobago first again, may your Holy Spirit take full control. We ask you, dear Lord, even in this time of conflict, this time of warfare, will you take full control, covering us with your Holy Spirit. Let your holy angels continue to encamp around us as we go each day. And at the end thereof, may your name be glorified. These are all of the mercies we ask with thanksgiving in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Brother Carl. So my brothers and sisters, good evening again. This is the PNM, and we are once again taking this platform throughout all electoral districts. Tonight, we're in Bethesda-Lecoteau, and we are, of course, in Lecoteau tonight. Are you ready? Yeah, man, we are ready to talk to you as we've been doing throughout the time, bringing to you some important issues, having a conversation with you. As I say all the time, from this platform, we're saying Tobago deserves better. We're also saying that we are putting Tobago first again. And we are saying that take this conversation seriously. Make no mistake about it. The People's National Movement, we always say, we are proud to be PNM. We are proud to be the People's National Movement because all the platforms, all the pillars of this country were built by the People's National Movement. So as I say all the time, we are bold and we are brave because we stand tall. And tonight we want to get the show rolling very quickly. I want to recognize in our midst our political leader, Honorable Brother Ansel Dennis. I want to recognize also all the stalwarts in this community. I see former assemblymen with us here, Brother Godwin Adams. Give him a lusty round of applause. And I see some faces who stand tall for the People's National Movement and for the community representing here this evening. Give yourselves a lusty round of applause. Tonight, we want to have a conversation with you. And because we want to get the conversation rolling quickly, we have a young man, a bright, brilliant young man. I heard he was an ace footballer from Stokely Vale, scoring goals, representing people, a community man, a man who also has some business background, a young man. And throughout this process, we, the People's National Movement, when we go, we choose the best persons who have a track record of representation. And we say, Bethel's Lekato, we're giving you the best. A man who is to score goals on the field and will score goals in terms of representing the people of this electoral district. A humble man. A humble man. A man who you can talk to. A man who can see about your issues. A man who says that he'll represent the people because his life is about representation wherever he is. He stands tall among the rest. You know, I feel proud to be on the mic this evening to introduce this young man to come on set with us. Lekato, make some noise. Make some noise. Make some noise. I want to bring on a man to talk to us. Brother, active guy.
Behind we will not desert you. Come on, protect the future. I know we can do this thing. Yeah. So right now, Louis,
That's all, my friend. We're standing. Go sit down here, man. I want you to look at this young man. Take a good look. This is what representation look like. A humble man. A man who says he'll represent you. Give him another lusty round of applause. You can take your seat. We're putting you in the chair so that you can tell this community all the things that you told us. We are proud of him. Tobago is proud of this young man. And Bethel's Lekato, you also will be proud of this man for good representation. Today, he didn't come alone. He brought some of the standard bearers that you have seen here throughout the conversation they had with him, persons who pledged to be part of the team. But in any team, you have the captain of the team. And I'm proud to Akil to stand and welcome to the conversation the captain of this team, the political leader, the man himself, Brother Ansel Dennis. Make some noise and welcome Brother Ansel Dennis.
Protect the future. I know we can do this thing. Yeah. So right now, Louis, fix up, fix up.
Make some noise.
We not done, we build up. Tobago has won. Tell the country that we feel them all. It's the way that we love. Provide representation.
Akil on one side
We got this.
and Ansel Dennis on the other side, surrounded by a team of strong, brilliant young men and women, backed by a stable political party, a party history of delivery, the People's National Movement. I say to all of us, good things are in store. Good things are in store. As he comes in, I must recognize him, the minority leader, a man who made us proud, Brother Kelvin Morris. Welcome, Brother Morris. We're talking representation. Kelvin Morris represented well. So when the time comes, the choice is easy because you have persons with a track record of representation. We're proud. Not just proud, we're proud because we would have delivered to the people of Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago. We are proud to be PNM because wherever you go, we can see where we have touched lives and changed lives in a positive way. And there are persons who came in and said, listen, we're going to fix things. Well, you know what they did? Me, I tell you that. You all know. And we are saying Tobago deserves better. We are putting Tobago first again. So I want to say as we continue, to speak to us. First, Brother Akil Guy, I want to give you the mic. The mic is open. I want to talk to us this evening. You are in the hot seat. So tell us. First, I heard you are a footballer. Tell me about Akil Guy, the footballer. So Clifford is a big team, you know.
Correct.
And then tell us why you are here this evening.
Correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Akil Guy.
Good night, let's go to. Good night, Golden Lane. Good night, Bethesda. Good night. Permit me to recognize in our presence our political leader, Ansel Dennis. Our minority leader, the one man who stood strong amongst all for Tobago, Mr. Kelford Morris. Past Assemblyman, Mr. Godwin Adams, also in my I just saw her walk back out. In our presence, former MP West, Shamfa Kojo Lewis. And you, the beautiful people of this district, it's an honor to be sitting amongst you all in this seat right now. So good evening to Coteaux, Golden Lane, Bethesda. It's an honor. Permit me to also introduce myself to you all. My name is Akil Guy. And to those who already know me, let me to reintroduce myself to you all, Akil Guy. I am from Bethesda. I am the fourth child of Alva Kinkir Guy, Sherry Ann Taylor, the grandson of Bada Frederick Guy, a construction man who is well performed in our Tobago space, and also grandson of Shovel, a well fisherman in our community also. I grew my early days in Bethesda, went to Bethesda Government Primary School, where I got my first education. These streets, playing football in these communities were my early memories of that community. From Bethesda, I moved on to Bishop's, got in a scholarship from Bethesda to secondary school, placing in the top 20 in Tobago. I went there for 5 years. I went to Bishop's for 5 years, and I was a footballer, so I transferred to Signal Hill Comprehensive, where I did my A-levels. Upon going to Signal Hill, where what my intention was to play football, I accomplished it by winning one of the few teams that ever won a national intercall from Tobago. From Signal Hill Comprehensive School, I then went to University of Degree, and I thank the PNM for sponsoring financially at Gate. I grew up in a very humble beginning, and I knew it would have been difficult for my parents to even send me to these schools. So thankful for the PNM for providing me that opportunity to go to and get a degree in entrepreneurship and communication. Upon returning to Tobago, I then got a job in the BDU, which I was a loans officer. I am a loans officer at the Business Development Unit. And luckily, I was the loans officer for this district, Coteaux, Bethesda, and Golden Lane. I have distributed over 100 grants in the last 5 years, helping persons start their businesses from scratch, which wasn't even on my portfolio at work. and also changing lives through the grants, helping young men like myself to traverse through the streets in a different path, a different way. While being back here, we see in the downward trajectory of our society. It's not because there are not opportunities, but where we are, the opportunities aren't meeting the persons within our communities. And we see the negative effect. And it's because of that why I offer myself to serve and help my people. I've been walking the streets of Bethesda, Leketo, and Golden Lane for the last couple of months, where I met some beautiful people in Leketo, like ladies by the bakery. They welcome you with their open arms. Went to the Golden Lane in Old Grong, you saw these people welcome you with open arms. And I am here to tell everybody here that everybody is a VIP on this trip. A VIP meaning that I am open to welcome everybody, no matter color, race, ethnicity, political differences. Because I will tell you something, a difference in ideologies is what makes us wiser in this society. And we are too small of a population to be divided. And it's because this division is what going to keep us here or take us there if we work together. And on this journey, I will knock on every door. I repeat, I will knock on every door in Leketo, in Golden Lane, and surely in Bethesda. Because I need every idea to take our community and our district and Tobago forward and putting it first again. So Akil Guy, the footballer, I grew up playing Bethesda Government School. About 7 to 8 years old, I joined Stokeyville. And I grew up knowing persons within the Stokeyville community, like men like Imu and Salas, and then looking up to these fellas. And after them, what made us so diverse and unique is that persons from Golden Lane and Leketo were part of our team. So there were persons like Norel and Bali and Rowan Sebrew and Korea, these guys coming from Golden Lane to join us in Stokeyville. So we never feel disconnected as a people, even within different communities in the district. On Annersville on a Sunday, all the guys from Leketo used to come down and play on our field. So I never felt disconnected from these people. From Stokeyville, I then would have played with Sinclair's coaching school, would have made me learn discipline, dedication, and cooperation. These words now are placed in my life throughout every part of my life or throughout every journey or every corner that I walk in life. So football was not just a sport for me. Football was a lesson, a development that I wish every young man has the opportunity to grow from this sport, to get camaraderie and to grow discipline, dedication, and cooperation in every aspect of their lives. I also saw the opportunity where sports would have provided for persons within my community. And we know that, yes, education may be the right thing that we force upon our society, but also we see a lot of persons coming through out the ranks, through football, through trade, through different walks of life and becoming something of themselves. And it's all now neglected. These opportunities are not as prominent as they used to be. And I intend on this journey to make the young men of this district feel wanted in whatever part of their life and for us to guide them into this direction, in a proper direction. So again, I thank you all for having me, and I'm open tonight for a conversation I welcome every question, and let us make this district the front runners and the champion of a better Tobago.
You heard the man himself. Want to make this district the front runner champion for better development and service in Tobago. And of course, to give his opening remarks and to share some views with us is our hard-working political leader. Today we were in a meeting a short while ago, and the man came under speed, left me and came here before me. Tells you the kind of man that he is. Dedicated to the people and to service. But until Dennis, the mic is yours. Opening remarks.
Thank you.
The captain of the PNM ship in Tobago.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Larry Paul. Le Coteaux, good evening. How are you feeling? And of course, Golden Lane. And Bethesda. And Plymouth. So you have more Plymouth people here than anywhere else. But it's a pleasure to be here, and I must say it is a proud moment for me to sit here next to your dynamic young candidate. Of course, he gave you a brief synopsis of himself, his life, his background, his education. And I am sure based on that, you can conclude that this guy is connected to the ground and connected to the people of this electoral district. And it is interesting to know that notwithstanding the fact that he was born and he grew up in Bethesda, based on what he told us at the screening exercise and based on what he told you here this evening, he is in fact connected to Le Coteaux. He is in fact also connected to Golden Lane. And I was pleased to hear him mention some of the young men and his peers that he had history with, that he played football with over a few years. And I think that are the signs, those things are the signs of a good candidate. But of course, a good candidate must also translate into a good assemblyman and a good representative for you, the people. And therefore, I had no doubt from the time we selected this young man to be the candidate for Bethesda Le Coteaux. But even this evening, I am further convinced that this guy, this young man, is in fact the best option to represent this community as we go forward for the next 4 years. So the theme, of course, is Tobago deserves better. And I always say that we have to see Tobago not just as an island on a map, but you have to see Tobago as yourself. You have to see yourself in Tobago. And therefore, when we say that Tobago deserves better, we're really saying that you deserve better. And sometimes you have to talk to yourself and say to yourself that I deserve better. I deserve better representation. I deserve better opportunities. I deserve better roads. I deserve better infrastructure. I deserve representation that cares. And we're also saying that given what has transpired over the last 4 years, there is a need for us to put Tobago first again. Because over the last 4 years, the only time you were important, as far as I'm aware, there were 2 occasions you were important to this current administration and to this current representative that you have now. You were important to her all day on December the 6th, 2021. And then you were also very important to her all day on April the 20th earlier this year, because those days were election day. And sometimes politicians, unfortunately, they tend to spend a lot of time with people during an election period. So you see them and they're on the blocks and they come and they talk to you and they're suddenly answering your phone call. And of course, sometimes they have the audacity to come to you and make fresh promises. And in some cases, stale promises. So the same thing that they promised you 4 years ago, that they did not deliver for the last 4 years, some of them will have the audacity to come and make the same promise to you again. But the fact remains that you deserve better representation. And I will not spend a lot of time telling you this evening about the things that went wrong. You live here, you are Tobagonians, some of you are on social media, you look at the news, you're hearing the talk, you're hearing 18 million spent on ambulances that we don't yet have, you're hearing $300 million spent in roads that all went to Trinidad contractors and did not benefit Tobago, you're driving on the roads, you're hearing every single thing. So I'm not going to spend much time telling you about what transpired over the last 4 years. In the last couple meetings, I delved into some of the things that we are planning as an administration that will replace this one in the THA, that we intend to do for you, the people of Tobago. And I want to tell you some of those ways that we will put you, the people of Tobago, first again. A couple nights ago, I spoke about the tourism sector and about our plans for the redevelopment of Scarborough. I spoke about the fishing sector. I spoke about agriculture. But this evening, I want to talk for just a little while about culture and the creative sector. Something that I believe is very dear and very important to this community. And I must say that I was very disappointed when last year, I think it was, for the first time in a long time, this community of Lake Coteaux did not participate in the Tobago Heritage Festival. Because when I was elected to the Assembly for the first time in 2013, I attended a lot of the heritage shows across the island during heritage season every year. And Lake Coteaux was known for one of the more vibrant, one of the more effective, one of the more excellent presentations. And I think all of us have to agree with that. That when you come to Lake Coteaux and you go to Table Peace Ground for heritage, you are always going to get value and you are always going to get a solid presentation of Tobago heritage lifelong ago and some of the things that our foreparents experienced. So I was disappointed when Lake Coteaux dropped out. I think it was last year or might have been 2023. Can't remember which year it was. But over a period of time, we have seen a significant decline in the creative sector, which is a very important sector to the people of Tobago. We have seen where funding that used to be made available in the past, not just to Lake Coteaux, Cruise Connection is the name of the organization, I think, but to other cultural organizations across Tobago, that funding suddenly dried up. because this administration had other priorities. So the funding given to cultural organizations dried up. The funding given to community-based organizations to do your little projects and so on in your communities dried up. The funding given even to sporting organizations dried up. And I can recall a conversation where a community sporting body, one of the governing bodies for sport on this island, and I wouldn't call the name, requested, I think it was $150,000 from this THA to execute a very important initiative. And they only got $50,000. And that $50,000, that shortfall of $100,000, placed them in significant difficulty. And when it was asked, well, we are accustomed getting more money than this over the years, what is the problem now? The response from the secretary responsible for sport was that we don't have any money. So that was a shortfall of $100,000. Understand something. Every time a secretary books a flight through the THA, through a division of the THA, and goes abroad, whether it's to attend a conference or to do something else that might be frivolous and unimportant to Tobago's business, it costs you, the taxpayer, one secretary, it costs you, the taxpayer, approximately $100,000. The point I'm making is that the $100,000 that they could not find to give this very important sporting organization to properly execute a sporting initiative that would have benefited dozens, if not hundreds of youngsters here in Tobago, they could use that same $100,000 to get on a plane so often and so frequently that the total travel bill of this current administration has reached now a total of $25 million. So let's talk culture. Now, in 2020, or 2021 actually, we evaluated the situation in Tobago as it relates to the performing arts. And we recognize that Tobago has a lot of talented artists, musicians, singers, dancers, and even people with the talent and the potential to produce film on this island, and not to mention pan, right? But when it came to providing opportunities for these individuals in Tobago to improve their skill and to practice their skill and at the same time expose others to that kind of training, we realized that we were not doing enough. And therefore we started something called the Tobago Performing Arts Company, also known as TPAC. And we started that company, and the intention of the company was to separate it into a few departments. One department responsible for theater, which will include your acting and so on. Another department responsible for dance. Another department responsible for music. And another department responsible for film. Of course, we engaged the management structure as part of the company, all the various directors for those areas. And we started developing the various programs that we wanted to roll out in each community. Because we wanted to create TPAC as a home, as a base for the best performers and the most talented musicians on the island. And there are a lot of talented musicians here, whether it be panists, guitarists, drummers, pianists, singers, etc. Tobago has some serious talent. So we created that company, with the intention to engage these people in the various departments to, of course, develop themselves into the best possible performers that they can be. And I must admit that the part that I was most excited about was the Tobago Chamber Orchestra, which would have been an orchestra comprising all Tobago musicians, strictly Tobago musicians, from pianists to a brass section with trumpet, saxophone, etc. Part of it we were going to include tambourine and the African drums. Every possible instrument that we play here in Tobago was going to be included in that orchestra. But the most important aspect of it is that those individuals, the musicians, or some of them, would have been given the responsibility to go throughout Tobago in the various communities, including this one, to provide training and development for young musicians, young dancers, young actors, and other talents within the various community. Because we recognize that even some of you right now, your children may have some musical talents that you don't know about. And I could tell you about myself. Of course, I came from a musical family, the Dennis from Mason Hall. For the older folks who know about Little Seven, my father was part of the Little Seven band. So therefore, I came from a musical family. But I gravitated towards music through the church. I started going to church from a very young age, at the tender age of 4 or 5. So I grew up in the church. And around the age of 11, I just jumped on a drum set and started to play almost very naturally. And from there, the rest is history. I started playing the drums. I played the drums for many, many years. I played on the stage for Tobago Jazz Experience. I played with a number of major bands in Tobago at a lot of gospel events, etc. But I was mostly self-taught in that I had to learn the basics on my own. And as I got older, I started buying up books about drumming and looking at drumming videos to improve my skill. And it dawned on me that the average Tobago young person, young man or young boy, young man or young woman, sorry, does not have any avenues or opportunities available to him or her to develop their skill, unless their parents can afford to pay for a music class, which by the way is not cheap. And most of the times the music class will be limited to just piano. If your child is interested in playing the saxophone, where can they be trained? If your child is interested in becoming a content creator to develop film, whether it be short film or long film, where can they get that opportunity from now? Of course, for PAN, you could send them to the PAN tent, and they could be a part of the steel pan, the steel band. They will play for Panorama, and they can develop there. But what about guitar and bass and other musical instruments? So the plan behind TPAC was to have these talented Tobagonians go to different communities across Tobago. And almost every community would have had a music program at least 1 or 2 days every single afternoon. So you right here in Le Coteaux, when your child come home from school, you could have sent them to the community center to learn to play an instrument, or to learn to dance, or to learn to act, so that maybe a few years from now, you could see them performing at a heritage festival or something of the sort. Now, why do we need to develop those talents in Tobago? It is my firm belief, ladies and gentlemen, that our creativity and our creative sector, the way we dance, the way we sing, the way we play music, even the way we talk, the way we communicate, is in fact a critical aspect of our development going forward. And we talk a lot about tourism, and I unveil some tourism plans that once we execute them, we are going to be able to improve the tourism sector very quickly. But when that sector improves, more tourists are going to come, more hotels are going to come, cruise ships are going to come. And you know what is a critical part of what they expect to experience when they get here? Of course, they want the lovely beaches, they want the sun, they want to walk in the sun and feel the sand between their toes, because some of them, based on where they live, a beach is nowhere close to them. They want to be safe, they want to enjoy the tours. But you know what is a critical aspect of their interest in Tobago? Entertainment, music, dance, our festivals, our heritage, and so on. And therefore, how do we prepare our young people, even our current crop of musicians, dancers, and performers, to benefit from those opportunities? And I will give an example, because recently Tobago missed out on what would have been a golden opportunity to transform our tourism sector, which was a Sandals resort. And I went to a Sandals resort in Barbados one time, and I stayed, I think it was 3 or 4 nights. And during that period, at any point in time during the night, during the evening, you had no less than 4 performing groups entertaining tourists during that period, every single evening. Whether it was dancers, whether it was a reggae band, a soca band, and all of those kinds of things. And you can imagine in a place like Barbados, where you have dozens of hotels, right? We in Tobago, we don't have any hotels yet compared to a place like Barbados. And all of these hotels require entertainment and dancers and panists and bands to come in and provide entertainment. Can you imagine the number of opportunities? And when a band performs, especially at hotels of the caliber of Sandals, it's not for small money. Sometimes they will make in a week in US dollars what you will make in a month. And therefore, how do we prepare our young Tobagonians to capitalize on those opportunities? And therefore, our commitment, because that company, of course, when this administration came in, it was not a priority for them. The funding that we had allocated to purchase the instruments, to start the orchestra, it was diverted to other things. And nothing has happened in that company for the last 4 years. In fact, some of the very talented Tobagonians that we recruited in that company, they have since left the company. And I want to tell you about a particular young maestro, a guy that I knew growing up in the church playing keyboard at the age of 12. He was assisted by the THA to study at a music school called Berklee College of Music, one of the most expensive music schools in the world. In fact, at the age of 21, I auditioned and applied to study at Berklee College of Music. Went to the THA. The THA committed some funding, but I was unable to raise the rest of money, and therefore I couldn't take up on the opportunity. Extremely expensive. The THA supported this young maestro, one of the best keyboardists and music producers in the country. Sent him to Berklee College of Music. He came back here. We engaged him in TPAC to be the musical director. put everything in place to set up the orchestra, buy the instruments, so that somebody with his immense talent could run with that, set it up, get out to the communities, train the young people, create future bands, create future performing groups right here in Tobago. They frustrated that guy. No money, no policies, no programs. They frustrated him to the extent where he left that company and is now somewhere in some other country contributing to their musical and cultural development. Somebody that we supported. We could not benefit from our investment because of how the Tobago Performing Arts Company was mismanaged. It is our commitment to you, the people of Tobago, that when you elect this man as your assemblyman for this district and 14 other assemblymen across Tobago, and therefore when you elect a PNM administration, one of the first things we will do is to immediately revitalize the Tobago Performing Arts Company. So we are going to go back, approach all the people that we hired before, and ask them to come back into the company because they are some of the best talents in Tobago. We are going to also purchase the equipment. The equipment, by the way, is only $2 million. Just imagine that. $2 million could not be found by this administration when the travel bill is $25 million. When Trevor private jet trip that the THA probably paid for was about $2 million or somewhere around there. Could not find $2 million to buy the equipment and the instruments for an orchestra to benefit the young people of Tobago. We will do that immediately. And then when we do that, we will identify several communities across Tobago and outfit their community centers with musical instruments. And then following that, we will send out the various persons engaged by TPAC to provide training on the various instruments across communities in Tobago. So your children that have any semblance or any ounce of musical talent, you will have the opportunity to send them to a community center near you to learn to play a musical instrument. And let me tell you something about the music industry. Who is the richest woman in the world and how she started? You all don't know who is the richest woman in the world? Go and research it. Go and research who is the richest woman in the world and where she started. Go and research right across the world which industry, right, makes some of the most money across the world. You know which industry it is? Even locally, the entertainment industry. When you go to any event, what do they play? Music. When you came here and you sat at the meeting while you were waiting, what was being played? Music. When you go to a party, what do they play? Music. When you jump in a car and the car is driving, taking you to Scarborough, what do you hear? Music. The music industry and the entertainment industry generally has immense opportunities for the development of this island and the development of Tobago. And of course, as I said, it is linked to even us here and our culture and creativity. Because training for young people in the various communities will mean a much improved heritage festival. Of course, you have some communities where the shows are excellent, like Le Coteaux. And then you have some communities where the level of performance is maybe not up to a high standard. Providing those training opportunities will ensure that we improve the quality of our productions during the Heritage Festival. Right? So, in closing, those are only some of the things that we will want to do to improve the creative sector on the island of Tobago. All right? So, I will stop here now, and of course, we will take some questions.
Thank you very much, Brother Dennis, speaking to a village that, of course, is very strong where its culture and entertainment and music is concerned. Now we're having a conversation. So now is your time to let you in on the conversation. There is a mic at the back, and you feel free to go to the mic and ask your questions. And you can share your story, share your pain, tell your PNM story, make some suggestions, or even share an advice for the team. Because the conversation, we spoke and we want to let you know the conversation very, very, very early. And of course, the guy is very excited to respond to your questions. And I see those online, the guy asking quite a number of questions already. So members, we want you to get to the mic. I thought your mom was going to the mic there. But let me shoot one time for the guy while they get ready. Are the young lady coming first? Thank you. Go right ahead.
Good night. For the past 4 years or more, there have been an increase in youths in the Golden Lane, Coteaux district being involved in crimes. I know you have Akil, you have walked the area, and I would like to know what are some of the ideas or some of programs you will come to decrease the involvement of crime activities within the district.
Over to you. Good question.
Excellent question. You know, it's not strange to any one of us to acknowledge the fact that crime is something that plagues our society at this current moment, especially this district. However, we know what to ask ourselves. Everything is a cause and effect. Where did it come from? Where did it stem from? We most times blame the young individuals to be getting in crime, and I can attest to being around most of these young fellas that are in crime. You know, it's person that we grew up, his families, Tobago is a small place. So we know they're not bad persons. However, a lack of opportunities within this space may lead to the crime. So now that we acknowledge that, we first have to acknowledge where it stems from. From the primary school levels. What are the facilities in our primary school levels? For the last year, we hear the primary schools in the communities or the district haven't been renewed or upgraded for opening our schools. The deterioration of the school could also deter the students from being in school, increasing more dropouts at school. Also, the lack of opportunities for sports. The facilities in our areas are dilapidated in Table Peace, in Plymouth. These are places where a person go to recreate and also, you know, not be involved in crime. Crime is a socio-economic factor that negatively plays our society right now. And where education is concerned, how do we have a database to really track who are in crime? What are the age groups are in crime? So we have to study it. Another thing that I would suggest is that there is no reform program for persons in crime. How are we going to alleviate or mitigate or lessen the second offenders in crime? Not to ostracize these young men because they have been involved in crime once, and how to integrate them back into our space. We have to how to integrate them back in spaces to provide these opportunities through trade, through sports, through culture, through music. We need to give these young men hope. And part of the reason why I'm doing this, one time I was in Golden Lane, and I was talking to a guy on the street, and he told me, Akil, because I know him playing football, and he was like, Akil, all we want is some opportunities right here in our space. Whether the young men decide to take the opportunity or not, they can't realize that they didn't have an option. So the lack of options will leave them without a doubt to just do crime. So we know how to study these factors to help alleviate or lessen the impact of crime in our society.
So thank you very much. And Brother Keith, a question for you from Golden Lane. You want to find out what is your plan for a playing field in the Golden Lane area? As a sportsman, over to you.
Yeah. So, I was very shocked when I walked to Golden Lane and I realized there was not a football field, because the amount of talent still footballers that Golden Lane possess, where did that talent come from? What I would suggest, because of the landscape of Golden Lane, I don't know where exactly at this point in time where a field could be, but I'm willing to work with the people of the community to identify that. And if it is that it isn't identified to have a large playing field, they need recreational spaces in that place. Because the young men in Golden Lane have no recreational places. The children have no playing park. The children, we can't just take a small goal sweat. The roads are bad, so we can't just play football in the road no more. So recreational, it is very much important, and the first priority of mine is to have in Golden Lane. Recently, we saw WIM got a soft court, which is something that an option that we could look at for Golden Lane, just to have that recreational interest. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. So your people in Golden Lane, like Coteaux, tuning in. Another question is an interesting one, and don't know how you're going to make it one, but go with it. So, for the guy to you, what is your plan for a public cemetery between Lekoto and Golden Lane? That's a question.
A public cemetery.
A public cemetery. Over to you. Why want you to answer that? Chief, you want to?
Yeah. A public cemetery. I didn't think about a public cemetery before coming on stage, but however, if it is that important, as I'm saying, I continue to work with the community. This is not a one-man journey with me. And when it is during this election, I will continue to have every idea on me, invite every idea, and even after we win the election, I will continue to work with the pillars of this community to ensure the importance of what the people need within this space. So to answer the question of the public cemetery, I am willing to, if it's a great idea for these people or there is a need for the people of the community, then by all means, we'll work together to have it delivered.
Yeah, thank you. Give one guy a little round of applause. What a guy, your district tuning in, I ask you another one. Mr. Guy, how can you revitalize netball league in the primary school and other sporting disciplines for at the primary level?
That's a great question. I grew up knowing that Lekito was known for great netball and like basketball. So now that is not prominent in our space no more, I would try my best to reintegrate it back into the primary school within this district. Another thing that we had when we were growing up was an inter-competition within our communities between Lekito, Golden Lane, and Bethesda. This is something that I would love to reintegrate through the inter-sports within the community. It did not only identify one school, but it brought camaraderie between the communities and brought us together. So we could now identify persons in Golden Lane from such a young age. So even when going back out to high school, it was easy to mesh with everybody within the district. So netball, along with other sports, whether it might be running, football, cricket, I think what we have working for us, and I need everybody to understand this throughout Tobago, is that every district is an ecosystem. Everyone is interconnected in some way. We are an island of 60,000 people, and I mentioned before in the introduction, we don't need to be divided. When we have access to more persons in business, in sports, the bigger the pool, the better for us. If we can identify Table Peace or Lekito to be a netball village and have the greatest netballers from Plymouth to come here to build a better netball team, or the greatest netballers from Lekito, Golden Lane to come together and all of us form one proper team, I think it will do us more good on our worldly stage and our CARICOM stage, right? Also identifying football might be in Plymouth, and it's been evident, it's proven that when these guys from Golden Lane came down to Stokeyville was on they nearly won the second division Premier League in Trinidad and Tobago. So that it also shows that once we come together throughout the district, it helps us to get to a larger outcome, a better outcome out of the population or out of the talent within our space. Also from sports, as we're talking about integration of people, in business also, the more we integrate right here and in the ecosystem, it builds the capacity of every business person. So now a shop owner used to sell to 5 persons, but if they integrate the other communities, they're now selling to 20 persons. So we now have to think it like Golden Lane, yes, we are Golden Lane, but we have to also market to Lekito and Bethesda, and vice versa for every community.
Thank you very much, Positive. The mic is still open. A question for the political leader using the health sector. Doctor indicating that they seem to have no platelets stored. And what is your, some platelets? Yes, and the blood bank is very low. What is your plan to revitalize the blood bank in Tobago?
Well, of course, we have to get more people to donate blood, but all in all, the situation in the health sector, which contributes to that blood bank issue, the lack of medications, because at another community conversation, we heard that the hospital and the pharmacy and so on lacks critical, very important medications. And of course, the situation with the lack of ambulances, all of that points to the mismanagement, the dangerous mismanagement of the health sector in Tobago. And of course, as I've said in other communities, that poses a risk to all of us. Because the reality is, if somebody suffers a medical emergency now, or when you go home this evening, God forbid, in the wee hours of the morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you call for an ambulance, the reality is that an ambulance will either take very long to come, or it may not come at all. All of that points to the mismanagement of the health sector. And I don't mean to sound facetious, or I don't mean to sound like if it's a joke or it's not a serious matter, but you can perhaps get away with mismanaging a lot of other sectors. Sport, as they've been mismanaging, tourism, agriculture, and so on. It will have great negative impact on the population of Tobago. But when the health sector is mismanaged, that can actually kill you or somebody for you.
Thank you very much. Your online audience, very active tonight. So, Mr. Guy, what is your plan for the development of agriculture amongst young people in this community?
One of the leading industries in the world at this current moment is agriculture. We need to make agriculture popular. We need to make agriculture fun again and lucrative, to show the lucrativeness within our space. What I think would be important or that we can do within our community is to have a mega farm in Golden Lane or Leketo. I was talking to a guy while walking, and they told me that at one point in time, Leketo had the best cocoa makers in the world, in Tobago, coffee makers in Tobago. So if we have a mega farm of cocoa in Leketo, it doesn't only be that you're planting like cocoa, but also it gives opportunity for secondary products. So we're now making chocolates, we're now making cocoa powder, and also that ties into tourism, having persons coming to see the process of the cocoa. I think for agriculture, we just have to add to the value chain. So we need to have our society knowing that even though a young person might not want to go on a cocoa field, they can now work in a factory. And this is something that I would like to pose to my political leader when it is that we do get in office, that we have factories that also could create sustainable jobs for young people within this space, even though they don't want to go on the field.
Let me just add to that because for those of you who have been following these community conversations, you heard me talk about the farmland development program and our intention to develop 700 acres of Tobago land across 5 or 6 estates. Friendship down in the west, Belmont Road, Indian Walk right up in Moriah, Richmond, further up the road, Lamy Road up in Argyle, and so on. Several estates owned by the THA, not being productive at this time, and you have places like Goldsboro as well that is not as productive as it should be. So that farmland development program, as I've said before, is going to create opportunities for farmers, potential farmers, existing farmers, young upcoming farmers to have access to land that is already developed with the roads, the infrastructure in place, with financial support and technical support from the Tobago House of Assembly to go and be productive and increase their existing operations or start new operations to ensure that we can feed Tobago. The part about agro-processing is another critical part of our agenda going forward. Of course, you would have heard me say that we started an agro-processing factory up at Goldsboro. And for the last 4 years, that project has been overgrown with bush, overrun with rats and other rodents, etc. And nothing has happened. And I've already committed to you, the people of Tobago, and I will commit to you again that one of the first things on our agenda will be to ensure that we are able to restart and complete that project and we're going to restart it within 6 months of assuming office.
Thank you. Very, very positive. But again, you have been thanked on the line for answering all the questions. But there's one more for you. It says here, what are your plans for enhancing the young men within this community and giving them an opportunity to learn a trade and to find employment?
So, as a young man myself, the problem in our society for young men is not that they lack the talent or the ambition. They just lack the opportunity. So my aim is to guide or be the bridge between the resources of the government to the young men with the talent and the ambition. I intend to have a mentorship program within this district for the young people, where we can pair trade men, pair career men, whether it might be a fireman or a police officer, a person working in tea and tech, and guide them into the steps of that so they can now channel that path straight into these careers. One of the challenges that I had as a young man, because I was independent and at some point in time rebellious, I think that I could figure it out by myself, which meet up on a lot of challenges along the way. And what we realize is that if you are guided properly, your process or your journey becomes much easier. These young men, it's not that they don't want to, they don't know how to, they don't know who to. So I would be definitely and I know I'm not trying to be promising, but I promise that I would be the voice for these young men to these opportunities.
Thank you. Positive. Thank you again. Being the voice of the young men. The mic is still open. Voice of the people. Our mic is still open.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. My name is El Sumbab, to the Chief Secretary and Agriculture. For my project, I want 2 acres to get some cane to start on my project. I don't want to leak out everything tonight, but it sounds like the thing steaming up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I didn't get the last part. But thank you again. Okay, no one understand.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Thank you.
My name is Wayne Wilshire. I'm the PRO of party group number 8. But I'm not going to come political tonight. Something I've always been dreaming of is having a combined steel band between Plymouth, Lekoto, and Golden Lane, a powerhouse steel band. Now, I have been playing for Cats and Jammers and All Stars, so I know what it's like. Indeed, there are small steel band in Plymouth, Golden Lane, and in Lekoto. But I want something that is big and powerful, that we move out from this area, go to Panorama, and make it, let us feel proud in this way, coming from here with our steel band.
Thank you very much. Well, a guy online, they're saying that you spoke about Golden Lane, Lekoto. What plans do you have for Bethesda? Could you share with us?
For Bethesda is a place rich with talent. I think the young men at this point in time is lacking, they're faced with lack of, unemployment. is a big unemployment problem in Bethesda. What I intend for Bethesda is to create or grow the capacities of these businesses within our district, so we no longer have to depend solely on the government for our job, but to create real meaningful jobs and sustainable jobs for these young men through the building of these businesses, so they can hire people right in our communities. Another plan I have for the men of Bethesda is they being part of the database and being part of the career guiding. We now could identify if there's an oversaturation in one field, we could avoid them going into that specific field. So if it is that there are tradesmen that is oversaturated in painting, we no longer want a young man to go to trade and learn painting when we need plumbers or we need electrical people. So this database will help them channel their course even better. Another initiative that I have for Bethesda is that we are known for great sportsmen. So we want to integrate scholarship programs in sports in our communities through not the government, but through the businesses that are grown within our spaces. The businesses now can give back to the sporting institutions. So young men now don't need to feel like it's just about academia alone, but they can also have a future through sports. There are living testimonies and proof of it happening already in our space. And if I begin to list the names of persons within our community that has traveled the world through sports, I will not stop tonight. But we just need that guide back to these opportunities. The young men at this current moment, on this journey while I walk through the streets, I try to educate them as much as possible. Yes, I need every one of them vote, but I need to educate them why they're voting. We're trying to grow the capacity of our space and grow critical thinkers in modern day, in our space at this current moment. For us to be competitive beyond the shores of our Tobago, the capacity of our people needs to increase. So everything CARICOM has provided us 18 million plus people for us, or 18 more jobs than what is just right in front of us. So it's just to guide these people out of the immediate bubble that they may be in, to let them know the opportunities are endless beyond what they are currently seeing right in front of their faces. So through the mentorship, through the database, through the sponsorship and the scholarships, I intend to have these opportunities be provided right in front of their faces.
Thank you. Good vision. You know, we're not keeping you here beyond 10 o'clock, so we're looking to wind up very shortly. One comment and a question. The comment is, this is the PNM that Tobago needs. Give yourself a lusty round of applause. So I guess this one is for the political leader, because he says that Akil spoke to it. But what is the plan to expand the coffee and cocoa industry in Tobago?
Excellent question. Now, as I said again, through the Farmland Development Program, our intention is to put over 700 acres of agricultural lands, fertile agricultural lands, into production. And that will include several crops, including cocoa, right? So of course, it's going to also include root crops like cassava, yam, dasheen, etc. And Mr. Guy mentioned about the factories. Of course, we already committed to ensuring that we complete the Goldsboro agro-processing factory. But I'm saying that facility down at Cove, which of course was started by the PNM, we are going to expand opportunities there for Tobagonians who want to get involved in agro-processing. And that will include, of course, cocoa into chocolate and other things, of course, cassava into cassava flour and cassava chips and fresh cassava and so on, sweet potatoes, etc., etc. And not to mention fish. I spoke a lot about the fishing sector and how we're going to transform and commercialize that. And there are opportunities for agro-processors to get involved in that as well. From fresh fish to smoked fish, salt fish, fish ham, etc. And I told the people at Collar Hall, I think it was, about an experience that I had in Castara, where I went up there in 2021 because I was visiting farms and I went to this family that had an agro-processing arrangement up at Castara where they were doing processed fish. And in 2021, the problem was that they couldn't get fish in Tobago. They had to go to Trinidad to get the fish. And on that visit, I sampled one of the products. I can't remember if it was the smoked fish or the salt fish, but it tasted better than any salt fish or anything that I ever purchased from Penny Savers. Right? So it demonstrated to me that the quality and the capacity of our agro-processors in Tobago, and in that case our fish processors, can in fact meet international standards. So unfortunately, I met one of the same guys a couple weeks ago, and he said to me, well, I asked him, I said, well, what are you doing up there with that smoked fish and that salt fish? And he informed me that they have stopped doing it. And when I inquired as to why, it had to do with the availability of fish and the high price of fish. So let me explain it properly, because I think the quality of fish or the species of fish that he's after is more like tuna and marlin and so on, which is a better fish to process and to make hams and so on. And obviously, you can't get that in Tobago in any large quantities. So we are going to respond to that. And as I've said before, I'll say it again, how we're going to respond to that. We're going to construct 3 fishing ports in Tobago to begin with. Plymouth, right down the road from you, Scarborough, and Palatavere. In addition to that, we're going to support experienced fishermen with very inexpensive lease-to-own arrangements to move from pirogue vessels to larger vessels. And finally, we're going to instruct the Coteaux company to go out into the open market and purchase 5 large commercial fishing vessels, and then find 5 fishing communities across Tobago to begin with, to have those fishermen in those communities form either cooperatives or some kind of other business arrangement to manage those vessels, operate them, and to catch high quality fish that our agro-processors will need, that our hotels will need, that our restaurants will need. And when we consume all that we can consume here, we will find markets in Trinidad, in the region, and internationally to export the balance. So that is how we're going to transform the fishing sector and move it from pirogue fishing to a more commercialized arrangement.
Thank you very much. So I must at least thank our online viewers. Give them a lusty round of applause. So I will take one more online, and we have one more here, and get ready to round up. Thank you, my brother. The mic is yours.
Pleasant good night, all protocol observed. This question is for the Chief Secretary. Our Chief Secretary, I am really from the both villages, Coteaux and Golden Lane. And over the meetings, you continue to speak about fishing. But in the village of Golden Lane, we have a very big problem. My stepfather grew up as a fisherman. I grew up going to Culloden and toting baskets of fish, going planting walk and toting lots of planting and stuff. But we have a big problem in Culloden. The problem is that the fishermen, when the tides are low, they can't go and fish. And over the years, we've been soliciting to get some form of assistance in solving this problem. If you go to Culloden now, you'll see most of the boats on land. Unless the tide go up, then they could go and fish. And they keep saying that there's the marine space and stuff. So I sat down and I continue to think, and I have a suggestion. Why we can't build a jetty to go out? Because most of the people live in Golden Lane off of fishing. Most of the young guys that we speak about is on the street. They are fishermen. But if they don't have anything to do, they know they say idle hands is the devil workshop. So I would like you to take that into consideration. Golden Lane also. I stay in Golden Lane because most of my life is in Golden Lane. We have some challenges with the roads. Mr. Guy, you say you walk Golden Lane. And if you go into Old Ground and you see the dilapidated condition of the roads, I know we ain't got plenty of money, but Chief, I want you to take this into consideration. Look at the roads in Golden Lane. If you go over Sandy Hill, if you make one mistake, you're going down in the gully because it's just a little S to go around. I would like you all to really, because that is one of the problems the people in Golden Lane is having. And there's rebellings. Somebody come and promise to fix it, and yet we ain't get it fixed. So, Mr. Guy and the Chief Secretary, I'm holding you accountable for that. Fix Golden Lane and everything will be highway. We come into Lescato now. You mentioned about the cultural aspect of Lescato. I am a founding member of the Lescato Cultural Theatre. This center you sit here. Italians used to come here by the busload. I used to dance, bottle eating, fire walking on bottle limboing. We used to make money in Lescato. From Monday to Monday, we used to make money. Because they used to come here, we were on the Lescato Cultural Theatre. So I would really be happy if you could reinvoke this because we have real culture in Lescato. We also looking at the tourism sector because people don't know that we have a beach right in the back there. We ain't Golden in this 5 feet, but it's really we own it down the side. Right? We would like you to clean up because the previous government would start a road project and they took it to a portion. So it's just ready to clean it and open it up back. And in that way, some of the youths on the street, because we have good craftsmen here, they can make money. We have Beneball, we have sugar cake, we have the bakery there. Everybody can make $1 in the village if we activate it. So I would like you to also look at that. We have another problem here. I ain't trying to be greedy, but we in the back and we're trying to catch forward. We have our waterfalls up the road up there. That also could bring a lot of income into the village. They say idle hand is the devil workshop. So if we come together and put the hands to work, a lot of these young men could get, come off the mental and step forward with your guidance. So I am looking forward for you to have jotting down these things. And when you become our next secretary, we ain't want to promise because we've been getting promised. This one promise, that one promise. And they say our promises are comfort to a fool. And this is why the people in our community is really rebelling. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now you're going to the mic.
I just wanted to add, good night, my name is Anthony. I just wanted to add something that the gentleman brought up. But all the promises you all making about schools and not schools, but music and sports and things. One thing I noticed you all need to emphasize a little more is the infrastructure. In order to get businesses and attract businesses, you need good roads, good lighting, you need these things. So that is my little, my little piece for tonight. You all need the infrastructure is the most important thing. That will encourage foreigners to come and build and invest in the place. But if tourists come right now and they don't know Tobago and you send them up in wherever in the country, and night happen to catch them up there and they're coming back. It's a gamble, you know, if they're going to make it back to wherever they're going. That is the most important thing you all need to take care of here in Tobago, the infrastructure, good roads, good lighting, good markings, and so on. So emphasize on that a little more. You know, everything is good, but everything else will fall in place if you all have good roads and good infrastructure. Okay? So,
thank you very much. Your final question, wrapping up with it.
Yes, so I will respond.
Infrastructure?
I'll respond to that road situation and that infrastructure, but in my closing comments.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me just, Mr. Guy, this one is for you. They say you spoke about tourism. Tell us what your plan for the water wheel. Your final question.
Water wheel.
In terms of tourism.
Water wheel.
Yeah.
So the last thing I've heard is that the water wheel, is it still present there? Last thing I heard is that it was moved. But I know when we were younger, we used to traverse to the Coteaux to see the water wheel. We also would have traversed, my father used to bring me to Coteaux to go to the river. Recently, I've learned about the waterfall in Coteaux also. So to emphasize what the gentleman mentioned, to grow the tourism product, that we could have a yearly income coming into our spaces that everybody here can benefit from. The water wheel is no different. If it is that we make it marketable again, then that also could bring extra persons into our community, having more bringing economic viability to a higher standard, and grow the population and create more sustainable jobs for people within our spaces.
So, Mr. Guy, now as we wrapping up, your online viewers are saying a very strong candidate. Thank you for the conversation. A lady says you came well rehearsed. But that's the quality of the man we're bringing to you. So, Mr. Guy, the final pitch is yours. Tell us.
So, I will end like I have begun. I will knock on every single door on this journey in Coteaux, in Golden Lane, and in Bethesda. Not just to solicit a vote, but to educate our people why our vote is important. Right? I think the days of deceptiveness and manipulation in politics are done. I am here to tell the young men and the young women and the people of Coteaux Golden Lane the truth. I am not here to bribe or small crumbs. We have to be the champions of this new Tobago, this movement to a better Tobago. Golden Lane, Coteaux, Bethesda, and I boast, and I hope my other candidates aren't upset with me, have the most talented, the strongest people in Tobago mentally. So much so that the young men had lost hope in this space. But to see so much people out here today, we still have a chance. People still believe. In a society, I heard me and Motley mention it recently. In a society where the young people lose hope and trust in our people, we invite chaos and confusion. And that very same lack of trust is what pervades our society, our assembly, and our country at this current moment. So to get back to the reality, we need to talk the truth to the young people. And I am willing, and I would work with the people of this community collaboratively to get this district to be in the front runners and no longer neglected, abused, or misused. And everybody is a VIP on this journey.
Thank you very much, Brother Guy. Everybody's a VIP on this journey. A candidate and a man that you can trust. And political leader, you are saying, and we are saying, Tobago deserves better.
That's right.
Your closing remarks.
Well, it is typical that people will want the best for themselves. That's normal and that's usual and that's quite okay. Bethesda Lekoto, we have given you the best.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, if you want the best for yourself, then you will do what you have to do to ensure that your next assemblyman is Mr. Akil Guy. So, clearly, if one thing doesn't tell us that something has gone terribly wrong in the last 4 years, if anything doesn't tell us that, it will be the roads and the state of the roads in Tobago. Because while some people will tell you that, you know, you don't vote for roads and vote for road paving and so on, those things are basic infrastructure. But if as basic as it is, this current administration is getting it so wrong, then it gives you an indication of what has transpired over the last 4 years. And I'm not saying that under the PNM, the roads were perfect and there were no potholes at all in Tobago. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying to you that over the last 4 years, the situation with the roads and infrastructure in Tobago has gotten far, far, far worse. So how are we going to treat with that? We're going to treat with it going forward in a way that creates more opportunities for Tobagonians, especially the young men within the community. And I've already told you that one of the first and easiest decisions that we are going to make as the next PNM THA administration is that no more will our contracts and projects that could be done by Tobagonians be given to companies and contractors from Trinidad. So I'll tell you about one program in closing, which I've already spoken about, but I'll talk about it again, called the Community-Based Infrastructural Development Program. That program, first of all, will allow you, the people in the communities, in partnership with your next assemblyman, to determine the infrastructural needs within the communities. The drains that need to be fixed, some of the roads that need to be fixed, the retaining walls that you may need because somebody's house is threatened, or some road is threatened, or some piece of public infrastructure is threatened by a landslide. When you determine those priorities, we in the Tobago House of Assembly, your next PNM administration, will identify $50 million per year to be spent on that program across the 15 electoral districts to address those basic community infrastructural issues. But here is the sweetener. Here is the sweetener. The sweetener is that the typical medium-sized and large contractors will not be allowed to participate in that program. That program will only be for the small community-based contractors who, of course, will create not only opportunities for themselves, but opportunities to employ some of the young men in the community to come and work and fix your community issues on those projects. And we're calling it the community-based, make sure you get the word right, the community-based infrastructural development program. And therefore, I want to put the young men on notice, especially the skilled men who know a bit about construction and who have a trade maybe in masonry or even plumbing or whatever your trade might be. And you consider yourself to be a leader in your community in the right way, of course, because normally when you hear community leader, something else is attached to it. But you consider yourself a community leader, willing to uplift others, especially your peers around you in your community. I am saying this is not a mama guy. This is not a gimmick. We started it before. For those of you who remember, in 2021, we brought such a program. The spend then, the allocation then was only $25 million. This time we are doubling it. And of course, the range of the projects will be valued at between $500,000 to $1 million for each project. Projects that may go beyond that. We're not going to take it and give it to a big contractor. We're going to split it up into phases, into bite sizes, so that the small community-based contractors, the men on the block who may have the wherewithal to start a company and bring his boys to the thing, so that they could be a part of that and help to fix community issues and make money while doing it. That program is for them. And there are some who will tell you in closing that suddenly you can't phase projects. That's what they're telling you. You can't split up projects into phases. And 2, you can't keep out Trinidad contractors. And 3, that Tobago contractors all of a sudden can't afford to do projects in Tobago. All of those things are false. The current procurement legislation allows the Tobago House of Assembly to establish procurement policies that will protect and guarantee local content, meaning local businesses and local contractors. It also allows you to phase projects. So even if you want to build 500 feet of new drain to alleviate flooding in an area, you don't have to give that entire project to one contractor. You could split it up into 5 projects of 100 feet of drain. And when you do it that way, everybody gets a piece of the pie. And that is what we are going to be doing through that program. Of course, the larger major projects, the big contractors who could go to the bank and get big money, they could go up there and fight and tender for those projects. But this small program will be for the small, young, upcoming contractors who are now starting off. And that program, when it is managed effectively by your PNM administration, will ensure that the drain, the little drain that behind your house where the water not flowing properly, that will be fixed. The bridge somewhere in your community that clogged or not big enough for the water to run through, that will be fixed. The retaining wall where a landslide, the retaining wall that is needed to save your granny house or your tanty house that may be falling over some cliff or falling into the road, that will be fixed. All those little niggling community irritants is what we like to call them, will be fixed quickly and efficiently through this community-based infrastructural development program. And that is how we intend to treat with Tobago's infrastructure going forward. So with that said, I want to thank all of you for coming. You have been a fantastic audience. But over the next coming days, go out there, support this man, and ensure that we bring home the electoral district of Bethesda-Leketo back to the loving arms of the People's National Movement.
Thank you. Thank you very much, political leader. And I want to join, of course, the political leader in thanking all of you, some system providers, and of course, the center, for you spending this time with us. As usual, I like to end with a quote from one of our persons online, and they're saying to you, Mr. Guy, a very impressive young man. May God bless you in going forward. And from this platform, we say Tobago deserves better. And once we support the People's National Movement, and we support all our candidates, and we put Tobago first again, then we can say, great is the PNM, great is the People's National Movement, great is the PNM in the interest of Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
I cannot wait for election morning. Tell them why. Tell them why. I'm dipping down to me elbow, darling. From Smith to Canaan, we're making it through this moment. You are the reason.
DJ. Touch it, bring it, baby. Touch it, bring it, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Somebody touch me. Somebody touch me. Somebody touch my soul. Yeah. Somebody pray to me, Jesus. Somebody touch my soul. Somebody touch me. Somebody touch me. Somebody touch my soul.
Who, me?
While I was praying, pray to me, Jesus. Somebody touch my soul.
Life too sweet, I